Hello viewers, welcome to EduTube, your school support educational channel where you can learn and relearn everything. In this series, 50 Commandments in English Language, we dive deep into the essential rules and tips to improve your English proficiency. Whether you are a student or a teacher or just a native or non-native speaker looking to refine your English skills and comprehensively understand the grammatical technicalities of the language, trust me, you are in the right place. Before we delve into today's lesson, if you are new to this channel or you are a returning viewer but yet to subscribe to the channel, please kindly hit the subscription button below this video to get notified of more academic lessons like this. And if you are a returning viewer but has subscribed already, we say a big thank you for your love and support. I will see you in a moment. Welcome back. So, in our previous lessons, we have already reviewed up to the fourth commandment. So, in today's lesson, we are going to be revealing two more commandments, which is commandment number 5 and commandment number 6. Without wasting any more time, what does commandment number 5 say? Commandment number 5 says that any verb that follows the modal auxiliary verb, whether present or past, should be or must be in its infinitive or base form. Again, commandment number 5 says that any verb that follows the modal auxiliary verb, whether present or past, should be or must be in its infinitive or base form. Now let's analyze the context of the commandment number 5 before we give some examples to elucidate the commandment number 5. So, the first key word we'll be looking at there in the context of the commandment number 5 is modal auxiliary. What are modal auxiliary verbs, or what is modal auxiliary? Modal auxiliary verbs, in fact, in its actual sense, auxiliary means something that assists or that help. So modal auxiliary verbs are also referred to as helping verbs. They are also referred to as helping verbs. That is, they are used along with the lexical verb or the main verb to express possibility, ability, necessity, suggestions, recommendations, obligations, or request, and many more like that. So basically, modal auxiliary verbs work with the lexical verb or the main verb to portray those things or those functionalities that we've mentioned, which are possibilities, abilities, necessities, obligations, recommendations, suggestions, and advice, and many more like that. So the modal auxiliary verbs can be in their present tense or in their past tense. This lesson is not for modal auxiliary verb, but it is necessary or it is important that we know what modal auxiliary verbs before we can venture into examples to elucidate the commandment or to analyze the commandment number 5. So now, the modal auxiliary verbs, just like the lexical verb, they can be in their present form and they can be in their past form. That is, we have the present modal auxiliary verb and we have the past modal auxiliary verbs. So let's look at some examples and their present form and their past form. An example of modal auxiliary verb is can, which the past form or the past tense is could. We have may, which the past is might. We have will, which the past is would. We have shall, which the past is should. We have must, which the past is had to. And we have ought to, which the past also is had to. And some other modal auxiliary verbs like that. So, now having understood what modal auxiliary verbs is, another key word we need to look at in the context of the commandment number 5 is, it says that the verb that follows the modal auxiliary verb must be in the infinitive or base form. So we are looking at the word infinitive and base form. However, we have explained infinitive and base form of verb in our previous lesson. So we suggest that you click on the end screen that will appear in this video at the end of this video to see our previous lesson. But then, infinitive or base form of verb are verbs in their natural form, are verbs without any suffix or prefix. So that is that about infinitive or base form of verb. Now let's recapitulate that commandment again. Commandment number 5 before we now give examples to expatiate the commandment. So the commandment says again that any verb that follows any modal auxiliary verbs, such verb must be in its infinitive or base form, whether the modal auxiliary is a past or is a present. So let's give some examples. Now the first example we have is, we shall come tomorrow for registration. We shall come tomorrow for registration. So you could see the modal auxiliary verb, as we've highlighted earlier, is shall. And then a lexical verb that is coming or that comes after the shall is come itself. Okay, so we shall come. Now you can see that the come is in its infinitive or base form. Now the shall is expressing future possibilities. Is expressing future what? Possibilities. So we shall come tomorrow for registration. So it's expressing future activity. So we shall come tomorrow for registration. Now let's look at another example that will be in the past. Another example is, he could ride a bicycle when he was a boy. Could is a modal auxiliary verb which is a past form of can. So both can and could, they express ability and they express possibility. So can is a present form, while could is a past form. Now regardless of could being in the past form, look at the verb that comes after the could, ride. The ride there is in its infinitive form. So it would be wrong to say that he could rode a bicycle when he was a boy, because the entire sentence or the entire expression is in past tense. The entire expression is in past tense. So that should mean, or that could tempt us to try to make all the entire verbs in the context or in the sentence to be in their past form. So, but then, because of commandment number 5, we must make sure to avoid, we must try to avoid such error. So, he could ride. That would be the correct thing to say, not he could rode, regardless of could being the past form of can. So he could ride a bicycle when he was a boy. So the modal auxiliary there is could, while the lexical verb that comes after it is ride, which is in its infinitive or base form. And then we have a last example, which is also expressing future possibility. They will see us soon. They will see us soon. Okay, so the modal auxiliary there is will, and the lexical verb that comes after it is see. And see is in its infinitive or base form, without any addition or without any subtraction to express, to portray any other thing you might want to portray. Okay, so they will see us soon. So will is a modal auxiliary and see is a lexical verb in its infinitive or base form. So that is that about commandment number 5. Any verb that follows a modal auxiliary must be in their infinitive or base form. That is the natural form of a verb. Now commandment number 6 straight away. What does commandment number 6 say also? Commandment number 6 says also that any verb that follows the anomalous verbs, that is has, have, and had, must be past participle. Any verb that follows the anomalous verb must be past participle. That is, okay, pardon me. Now, any verb that follows the anomalous verb, which could be has, have, or had, must be past participle. Now, our key word to analyze in that context of commandment is anomalous verbs. Now, though we've explained anomalous verbs in our previous lessons, but then let me take my time to explain that again. So what are anomalous verbs? Now the word anomalous in the dictionary literary meaning, in the literal meaning of anomalous, according to the dictionary, is something that deviates from the norm, something that deviates from the regular pattern of something. Now the regular pattern of every verb is that the lexical verb portrays actions. The modal auxiliary verbs assist the lexical verb. And then we have the verb to be, which are also primary verb, which shows the state of something. But these anomalous verbs, they combine the functionalities of these three. They can function as a lexical verb, that is a main verb, portraying action, and they can also function as a primary verb or an assisting verb, an auxiliary verb. And that you can see they are deviating from the norm. So that is why they are called the anomalous verb. That is the deviating verbs. So the anomalous verb has, have, and had. So whenever a lexical verb comes after them, such lexical verb that follows them must be past participle. Now another thing we now need to look at is what is past participle. Now this lesson is not for past participle, it's not for tenses, but then let's take our time to explain what past participle is for better comprehension or for good comprehension of the commandment number 6. So past participle is a form of verb, is a form of tense, is a form of tense, so it's a form of verb that is used to express perfect tense and active tense, passive tense, passive voice. So the past participle are used to express perfect tense and passive voice, and sometimes they are also used as an adjective. So the past participle, they are sometimes used as an adjective, they are mostly used to express perfect tense or to express passive voice. So those are past participle. Now how do you know a past participle, or how do you form a past participle verb? Now for regular verbs, you simply add ed to the end of the base form of a verb to form a past participle. For example, start is a base form of start. Once you add ed to it, it becomes started. So started is a past participle of start. I said earlier that this lesson is not for tenses, so I'm not going to go really deep into it. But then to form past participle of regular verbs, you simply add what? Ed to their end. For example, start, when you add ed to it, it becomes started. Then we have talk, as I am talking now. So when you add ed to it, it becomes talked. We have work, if you add ed to it, it becomes what? Worked. So those are regular verbs that when you add ed to their end, they become past participle verb. And then we have the irregular verbs. These irregular verbs, they don't have a pattern, so they have to be memorized. You have to know them. You have to know them. They have to be memorized. Any verb that you feel you don't know their past participle, you just type them in the Google or check them in the dictionary. You see their present form, you see their past form, and then you see their past participle. Okay, so for the irregular verbs, there is no pattern to form them. Some people say the vowels in the middle or the vowels in the end change, but then there is no fixed pattern for them. You just simply have to memorize them. An example is swing. The past participle of swing is swung. That you might not think of it. You could have said swinged. And just another one is sing. The past participle of sing is sung. You might not know that. Okay, so those past participle of irregular verbs, you have to memorize them. And like I said, today's lesson is not for past participle. Okay, so let's go back to our commandment number 6. As it says, now that we've known or that we've understood what past participle are and what modal auxiliary verbs are. Okay, commandment number 6 again says that any verb that follows the anomalous verbs must be past participle. Okay, so now that we've known what anomalous verbs are and then we've known what past participle are, so let's give some examples to put them into pragmatic use. Okay, a pragmatic example is, she has spoken to my parent about the competition. She has spoken to my parent about the competition. She has spoken to my parent about the competition. So has is an anomalous verb, and then another verb comes after has, which is spoken. Spoken is the past participle form of speak. Speak. Okay, so speak. When you speak, the past participle will become what? Spoken. So she has spoken. So it will be outrightly wrong to say she has speak to my parent. That would be so wrong. So anytime a verb, you make use of anomalous verb and another verb comes after the anomalous verb, such verb must be in the past participle. So she has spoken to my parent about the competition. Another example is, we have paid for the registration. We have paid for the registration. Now, mind you, in the first commandment, we said that when the subject is singular, the verb must be singular. And then in the second commandment, we said that when the subject is plural, the verb must be plural. And the same rule is being abided by this in these examples that we've given. Okay, so she is a singular subject and has is a singular anomalous verb. But then we are not talking about commandment 1 and 2. If you need to know about commandment 1 and 2, please go back to our previous lessons and videos, which will be displayed in the end screen at the end of this video. Okay, so example 2 says that we have paid for the registration. Have is an anomalous verb and paid is the past participle of pay, P-A-Y, pay. So we have paid. Then example 3 says that Mr. Ola has reported the rebellious student. Mr. Ola has reported the rebellious student. So has reported. Has is an anomalous verb. Reported is a regular verb. Now in this case, you could see that ed was added to it, like we said, that to form the past participle of regular verbs, you simply add ed to the end. Okay, so Mr. Ola has reported the rebellious student. Okay, so that is that for today. This is where we are going to stop for today. Commandment 5 and commandment number 6. Don't forget, commandment number 5 says that any verb that follows a modal auxiliaries, whether present or past, must be in their infinitive or base form. And then the commandment number 6 says that any verb that follows the anomalous verb, has, have, and had, such verb must be past participle. So thank you for watching. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your support. Please, if you are new to this channel, as we said in the beginning of this video, kindly click on the subscription button below this video to get notified for more academic lessons like this. And if you are a returning viewer but yet to subscribe to us, please kindly do the same thing. And if you are a returning viewer but you have subscribed already, we say a big thank you for your love and support. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I'll see you in the next lesson.